Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make this cute little 3D ghost. You're going to need 99 bands to make this ghost here, 2 blacks and 97 whites. You can also use the glow-in-the-dark bands, that would be pretty cool. I didn't have it. And if you want to add the mouth, you'll need an extra band, and I'll tell you how to do that in a video. And also if you want to add the little bow or a little accessory on the head, you'll need 3 extra bands. So let's get started. We're going to be using the loom in this configuration, and you can use it in any configuration, even the monster tail. We're just going to use 8 pegs. So we're going to make the arms first, taking a single band, coming from the first to the second peg, and we'll make both arms at the same time, taking 2 single bands, coming down twice on both sides. So that's what it should look like. And then capping the end peg off, looping a single band 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then looping up like a single chain, reaching in, grabbing the bottom 2 bands, and looping up and onto itself to the first peg. And let's repeat for the second arm. And you take it off the loom and set it aside to add to our body later. So there's 2 of my arms. Let's set it aside. And let's do the body, taking 2 single bands. We're coming from one peg to the other, twisting in the center. And we want to cover 8 pegs. So just go around your loom with 2 bands each, crossing in the center. Push everything down, and this is row number 1. Row number 2, we're taking a single band and covering all 8 pegs. And then looping the bottom 4 bands up and over onto the center, leaving 2 loops left per peg. Go around all 8 pegs. Push everything down. Rows 3 through 6, we're doing the same thing, taking a single band, looping the bottom 2 bands up and over, and leaving 2 loops left per peg. So this is pretty repetitive. I'm going to fast forward rows 3 through 6. This is row number 6, and we want to make sure we're looping the bottom 2 bands up and over into the center. Push it down, and each peg should have 2 loops left on them. We are on row number 7. We're going to add the arms. Taking our arms, getting the loop onto our hook, the single loop, and we're going to attach it to the side first and second peg for both sides. And make sure the arms are sticking out like that and not inside our body. And for the rest, we're taking a single band and covering the pegs for row number 7. Once again, make sure you loop only the bottom 2 bands up and over, leaving 2 loops left per peg. Push it down. And if you want to add the mouth, you can go ahead and do it here. You want to take a single black band, loop it 4 times on your hook, and then pulling these 2 bands and pulling all these black bands onto the 2 loops and then replacing it. So your mouth would be there. And that was row number 7. Row number 8, we're just taking 8 single bands and covering the 8 pegs and looping the bottom 2 bands up and over. Continue around all 8 pegs, moving the bottom 2 loops up and over to the center. Push everything down. In row number 9, we'll add the eyes. We're going to take a single black band, loop it 4 times on your hook. This was for the mouth, I'll leave that, and I'll do the second one, taking a single black band, looping it 4 times on the hook. Taking a single white band and pulling those black loops onto that band, and we'll attach it onto the center first and to the side first peg. Repeat for the other eye. Push the bands down and cover the rest of the peg with a single band, and then looping the bottom 2 bands up and over, leaving 2 loops per peg. Push it down. It's getting a little tight. If you're making it on the monster tail, it should just go right through underneath, so it shouldn't be as tight as it is on the loom. For our last row, row number 10, we're taking a single band and covering the 8 pegs and looping the bottom 2 bands up and over, leaving 2 loops left per peg. We are almost done. Let's take it off the loom, getting the loops off of each peg and getting them onto our hook. And I'm going to go clockwise. If you're comfortable going counterclockwise, you can do that. Just go in order, getting the loops off of your loom and then pulling our little ghost off the loom. So there he is, and getting a single band and pulling all those loops off of our hook and onto the single white band. And then tying a slip knot. And tuck in your charm string, and you don't have to, you can leave it dangling so your ghost can float. So there's our cute little ghost, and if you don't want a bow or accessory, then you're done. But if you do want one, it's really quick. To make the bow, we're going to take 2 single bands, whatever color you want, put it on your hook, and then loop it once, like that, and make sure it's even. Taking another single band and pulling those loops right onto the single band, and then tying a slip knot, like that. Get it off your hook. And if it's a little bunchy, like that, you want to move it around inside the loops, so that way you have a nice little spread for your bow. And hold it between your fingers, put your hook through the loops on your ghost's head, and putting that single loop on your hook, pull it through, and then opening it up and slipping the bow right through, and then spreading it out on your ghost's head. So there are your 3D ghosts. I hope you like them. Thanks for watching.